Sir, good afternoon, sir. I am April Joynoda from Makilala din po. Then, nag-school ako sa USM Kabakan. Third year, taking Bachelor of Physical Education. And she is...
I am Ivy Medal from Marvin Castañeda, and I am studying in University sa
Sir, if okay lang sa'yo, sir, na mag-take kami ng video po, sir, para
Sure.
as a proof. Okay, sir. Ang purpose po nito, sir, is actually requirement po ito sa aming major ng subject is BPEd P1P, Curriculum and Assessment on Physical Education and Health Education. So, sir, pwede ka po bang magpakilala, sir?
Sure. My name is Marvin Castañeda. I am 24 years old. I graduated at the University of Southern Mindanao with the same course, Bachelor of Physical Education, major in School Physical Education, last 2019. And also I'm an alumni of the university.
Okay, sir, mag-start ng question, sir. How many years of experience you have in teaching? Or, itagalog ko, sir, ilang taon na ang inyong karanasan sa pagtuturo, sir?
Well, this is my first experience in teaching, so I've been teaching for 1 year and 3 months already.
Okay, sir. So, sa experience mo, sir, happy ka po ba, sir?
Well, at first, I'm quite hesitant if this is really the field that I want to be in. But so far, for that 1 year and 3 months experience, I'm enjoying it. I love my job. I'm enjoying the fact that I am teaching students and meeting different students as well.
Thank you, sir. So, for the second question, sir, what is your bachelor's degree or ano ang iyong bachelor's degree?
Okay, so I am Bachelor of Physical Education, major in School Physical Education. So that is intended in teaching.
Okay, sir.
As a PE and health teacher, how physical literacy is being integrated in your topic? Bilang guro ng PE at kalusugan, paano isinama ang physical literacy sa iyong mga baksa?
Okay. So basically here in our school, what I usually do with my students is that I let them know about the importance of physical activities. Being active is very essential, most especially in this time of pandemic. So far, I integrated all of these different physical activities within their modules so that even if we have this modular setup, they can still manage to do exercises at home. Aside from that, if the students would choose to have online classes, of course, our responsibility will not limit on the four corners of the classroom. So therefore, even if they are at home, we are sending some examples by means of getting different references. It could be either on social media or any social media platform that they can use as a reference. And then after that, they will do it, or they will somehow try to do these different exercises in order for them to still be active even if they are at home.
Okay, sir. So, di ba sinabi mo, if online class, di ba nag-assign kayo ng references, then, sinusunod din ba ito ng mga students mo, sir?
Well, basically, yes. For the entire experience that I have so far, based on my assessment and monitoring, all of my students are really doing well when it comes to these activities. Actually, they are really active and very participative in all of this.
Okay, sir.
And formulating your learning objective based to a lifetime physical activity, what challenges you have encountered? Sa pagbalangkas ng iyong mga layunin sa pag-aaral batay sa paghahambuhay ng physical na aktibidad, anong mga hamon ang iyong naranasan?
So basically, if we are talking about the challenges that I face as creating the objective for my student, there are a lot of factors that I consider. Number one is the availability of our facilities and our resources, because again, our institution is just trying to bounce back from the effect of earthquake and also the pandemic. So far, the infrastructures that we have has been disrupted. Therefore, it would be very difficult for us to have this kind of physical activities on time. So therefore, that is one of the things that I consider, the fact that we don't have enough resources. That's number one. Number two, the availability of the resources that they have at home. Because again, most of our students came from the poorest of the poor. Therefore, they are from remote areas. They don't have the chance to have good facilities at home, or even have just average type of ball that they can use at home. Therefore, I make sure that within my objective, I can still hit all of these activities by means of checking what is available resources that they have and what are the available resources that we have here in school.
So, sa mga na-experience nyo na problems, sir, regarding to that, ano yung mga ways nyo para ma-overcome ito? And na-overcome din ba ito, sir?
Well, on my case, since that is one of the biggest challenge, we don't have resources or facilities that we can use, that they can utilize. What I usually do is to have references on social media. So that is at least the best thing that I can do. And aside from that, I always try to look for any alternative or options that they can do at home. So that even if they don't have that physical resources that we really need for them to perform, they can still manage to do things in alternative ways. So most of the time, giving them enough references, like watching on social media, on YouTube, on different platforms, on how are they going to execute it properly, is mostly the things that I do for them to really learn about the topic or the subject that I'm teaching them.
Sige, sir. Thank you, sir. So, for the fifth question, as a physical educator and health educator, what does it take to be a good example of the concept, move to learn, learn to move? Bilang isang physical educator at health educator, ano ang kailangan para maging isang magandang halimbawa sa konseptong move to learn, learn to move?
Okay. So basically on that concept, move to learn, learn to move. It is very important that as an instructor, you should be in a role model, not just on the physics, but make sure that you equip yourself about the learning. Because again, there are some instructors or there are a lot of teachers who are physically good or they have this good physics, but again, the learning, the enough information is missing. Therefore, I invested more on what I could learn from different people. I gather information, I experiment, and most of the time, I spent my time watching different videos on social medias, or even reading different books that could at least update my knowledge, so that they are still able to know what is in the modern times nowadays. Because again, teachers have different ways of teaching. It could be traditional, but most of the time, since we are already on the 21st century teaching, therefore we have to consider that modernization is needed to be included on the subjects that we have nowadays. So therefore, you have to be really flexible in all of these things.
Sir, so what innovations you have made to integrate your topics in the concept of move to learn, learn to move? Anong mga inobasyon ang ginawa mo upang maisama ang iyong mga paksa sa konsepto ng move to learn, learn to move?
Okay. So, for me, on that 1 year and 3 months of teaching, I've already told you that we don't have enough resources, we don't have enough equipments for them to use. Therefore, most of the time, I only, like for example, here in our school, we don't have like a specific covered court that they can use for their practices, or dance classes, or whatsoever. Therefore, we utilize what is available. Like for example, the available areas that we have outside, the TLS rooms that we have. Though it's not a standard that we need to follow, but at least they will know the principle of that specific learning that we are trying to let them understand or let them learn. So it's not really matters the area or the space, but at least they are very full of the knowledge, the concept, the foundation of the learning. Because again, these are lifetime learnings that they can use. So that's how I innovate these different subjects that I have so that I could still integrate all of those things.
So last, sir, last talaga sa. What advice can you give to us as a future physical educator po, sir?
Motivations.
Yeah.
Well, for me, so since we are on the same area,
Yes.
I think one of the missing part that I think I regretted because before I'm not taking it seriously all of our major subjects. So most of the time, what we do before is that as long as we pass the requirements, as long as we read what is needed to be read, as long as we study during the midterm and the finals, that's already enough. But that's not the point. Always make sure that if you are a physical education student, you are equipped with knowledge. Therefore, even the smallest thing on our area or on our field, you should know. Because again, you are the enthusiast in this field. No? It is still the best feeling that whenever a student would ask you a very simple information, for example, who invented volleyball, who invented basketball, you can directly speak, you can directly answer them. Because again, if you're a physical education, majority of their perception towards you is that you know everything about that area. And those are the things that I missed before. Because again, I'm just one of those students who are just accepting knowledge based on what I want to accept. No? So it is very important that you should cover all of these things. Again, it is very important that if you are going to be a teacher, grab every moment for you to learn. Even the smallest information that you can get out from the books or even from our teachers now in college, take it. Because again, time will come, all of this information will be useful. And that is your weapon if you became a teacher. Because again, if they know that you are knowledgeable, they will trust you. And the student would really enjoy your subject. So I think that's the lesson or the motivation we can use.
Okay, thank you, sir. So, yun lamang po yung mga questions na aming na-ask po, sir. So, salamat po, sir, sa
Okay.
mga tayo, sir.
Okay.